Hey guys, Demon Killer here, and today I brought you a video on something different. I decided I would do a tutorial video for Carrier Assault, the new game mode in Battlefield 4. If you guys aren't familiar with this game mode, it was part of the Naval Strike DLC, and it's proving to be quite a fun game mode. It's made up of both Conquest and Rush put into one, which is quite cool, and it's the spiritual successor to Titan mode from Battlefield 2142, which I haven't played myself, but everyone said it was quite a good game mode in that game, and this is a remake of it basically, brought to Battlefield 4 using Frostbite 3. I thought I'd make this tutorial video for people who have both already played it or know about it, and for those who haven't, because there are probably a number of things in this game mode which people aren't aware of and don't use to their advantage or miss when they're playing it. And so I thought I would point everything out just so that people understand how it works and can have a better way of navigating the battlefield to score a win for their team, because after all this is a team game. You've got to be a team player in this, and everyone likes to win, no one likes to lose. Right guys? Also guys, side tip, use the ACOG sight on the AR-160. It's really good at long range. You can see the kills I got here. It's a really good gun for Operation Mortar and Lost Islands, because they both have good long range areas. So, down to it. What happens first? It becomes a game of Conquest. You start, you head for 3 objectives, or however many, depending on if you're playing Conquest or Conquest Large. In this case I'm just playing Conquest Small, and you have to capture them. Every time you capture a point, a missile silo will fire a missile at the enemy carrier, and every time one hits it will take off 1% of health. What is not to be mistaken here is the life bars in the bottom left are not 100% life bars, they're 50% life bars. What this means is every time yours goes from 100 to 50, that life bar will deplete, because at 50 the carrier will crack open, you'll be able to board it, but we'll talk about that later. So, similarly to Conquest, you want to get the enemies down to 50% before yours gets down to 50%. That's the way you're going to win the game. So whoever has the most possession is likely to win, so you always want to try and keep your eye on those objectives even after the carrier is open. So, once you've got to 50% or less, the carrier will crack open, all the same with yours. In this case, I'm going to defend mine because I know it needs defending because theirs is not cracked open yet. Once it hits 50% it will be breached, but it will not immediately crack open. So if yours cracks open first, you would want to think about going to defend it while your team tries to work on the enemy carrier. You've always got to assess what good you're going to be to your team in these situations. There are 2 main doors on either side of the carrier, a bottom entrance where boats will come in and out, where attack boats can be moored, and an entrance from the top of the boat where the bridge is. If you have the time, it's best to go as support and put down claymores and all the passageways you can. Once you're inside the carriage, you'll need to take out 2 objectives, A and B, just like Rush. You have to take out the first objective before the engine room will be breached and open for you to get the second objective. The first objective is normally relatively quite easy for the attacking team because it's in quite an open area with obviously several different points of entry, as I mentioned earlier. But it still can be a challenge depending on how much the enemy team has come back to defend or how many of your team has come to help attack. The important thing to remember is while you're attacking and defending, you still need to be concentrating on the objectives because they are still whittling down the health, and if your carrier reaches 0 then it's over, or if the enemy's does, you win. I've only ever seen this happen once, but it's important not to let that get the better of you. So once the A objective has been destroyed, whether you're attacking or defending, the enemy engine will open as you see here. 2 large doors downstairs is where most of the enemies stack up, but it can be accessed from the stairs and corridors from where the A objective was. Once the B objective is armed and destroyed, it will take your carrier's health down to 0, or the enemy's carrier health down to 0, and it will result in a win or lose. This can lead to some very close games where defense can save your team from losing, or a strong push will end up winning you the game before it's too late for yours to be lost. The good thing about the engine room is there are no flanking routes, they all have to come from in front of you, either down the stairs or through the doors. Unfortunately this won't stop brute force coming down and destroying you in one push. But you've got to be careful, that's why it's best to set up claymores and set up good cover points for all your team. If you see a teammate guarding one stair, go and guard the other, because when they come through in force, you won't know what's hit you. And if they've got their attack boat parked, then it's best to try and clear that out, because that will rain hell through these engine doors. Whenever you die, always check the map and see if you can go back and defend your ship, because as I said, it's a matter of seconds between winning and losing. If I hadn't come back and defended this ship right now, we may have lost. Now there is one last way to win this game mode, and that's the way that most people forget and don't think about. If your enemy has a really strong defense, or your team has a strong defense but not a strong enough attack, then sometimes the best thing to do is to try and whittle the enemy's health down to 0. Like I said, I've only seen this once, and this is what you're seeing here. My team was able to defend our ship without losing the engine room to the enemy. However, I could tell that we were about to lose. The music had started playing that we were losing, and it was because our carrier health was so low. And I was actually rather surprised because I've never seen it before. I'd only heard the principle and what was explained, so I decided I would go and check it out, because for all we know it could be bugged and it might not work properly. However, sure enough, it does actually work. It turns out it's not 0 to cause you to lose, but 1 hit after 0. You'll see I watched the last missiles just to test the theory, and it does actually happen here. And that, my friends, is how you play Carrier Assault. I hope you've enjoyed and learned something from this tutorial. Leave a comment on your experiences and how close you've ever come to winning or losing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.